fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Family Multi-Pack from the 2.5-inch line of Simpsons figures from Jakks Pacific. So if you saw the last video I did for these, they have a couple of single figures that are about $5 each, and I reviewed Chief Wiggum, Ned Flanders, Homer, and Bart. This is actually a full Simpsons Family Multi-Pack, and it is $19.99. I found this at Target, so very excited to check this out. Now, I'm assuming that Homer and Bart will be very similar, but it does look like the skateboard that Bart came with is not included in this multi-pack. And there is a single version of Lisa as well that comes with a saxophone. So if you want those accessories, you'd have to buy those single figures to get the accessories, as the multi-pack here only has the family members and no other accessories. But you can see the packaging is pretty standard, what we've seen so far for this Simpsons line from Jakks Pacific. You have Homer here, you have Bart, you have Lisa over here on this side, Maggie and Marge over here on this side. Not really anything going on the bottom, just the Simpsons logo on the couch there on the top. And then spinning it around to the back, it just shows you the figures that are included. So I'm going to go ahead, get this box open, and we'll take a closer look. So taking a look at the figures here out of the packaging, we will start in the center here with Homer. Now, unfortunately, it looks like I have a couple flecks of yellow paint there. From what I can tell, these pieces are cast all in white, and then they painted, you know, from the sleeve down in yellow, which I feel like there's more yellow. Why wouldn't you cast it out of yellow and paint the sleeve white? But I guess maybe they thought it would be easier to paint on white plastic than vice versa, which I guess I can understand. Pretty good looking figure. Definitely a nice representation of Homer from the show. Head can rotate side to side. You have a hinge and a rotation at the shoulder. The arm is one solid piece, so nothing at the wrist. You do have a bend in the waist like that, so you can sit down, but then the legs and everything are one solid piece. Now, if you saw the video I did of the single figures, the Homer from that appears to be identical. I really can't see any difference whatsoever. And this one did not come with an exclusive accessory of any kind, so if you're planning on buying the family pack, you could go ahead and skip this Homer from the single carded figures. Now, we know that there's also the Simpsons Home playset / diorama, whatever we want to call that, and that apparently also comes with a Homer, so I feel like regardless, you're going to end up with some extra Homers, but you could skip the one from the single carded figures or single boxed figures, because they do appear to be identical, so don't need to double up if you don't want. But it's still a cool looking Homer, nice representation of him from the show. Speaking of duplicate figures, next we'll move on to Bart. Again, looks good. Nice looking Bart figure. Same articulation with the head swivel, hinge and rotation in the shoulder. Arms are one solid piece, so nothing in the wrist. And then he also has the bend so that he can sit down. But if we compare him to the single carded or single boxed Bart figure, as far as I can tell, they are the same, with the exception of the inclusion of the skateboard. So he actually does come with an exclusive accessory. Now, I can't say, will this skateboard be included somewhere else down the line? Possible. But for right now, if you want the skateboard for Bart, you have to buy the single boxed figure. If you're planning on getting the family pack, there are no accessories for the characters. So, skateboard's decent. You know, is it worth $5 on its own? Don't know. But if you want the skateboard, that's the only way. The only other thing I notice, and it's a very small difference, this one has some printing on the butt, and this one does not. So if you like a little bit cleaner Bart with less printing, you can see that that other text is still kind of etched into the back, the copyright. But for whatever reason, that little bit of printing there on the butt, which I guess is just a serial number, not present on this one. Otherwise, they are identical. But still, pretty cool looking little figure. Moving on to some new figures, we'll start here with Marge. I think they did a pretty good job again. Looks like she does exactly. Jumped right out of the cartoon. Hair, really well done. Some of these things, it's hard to translate into 3D, but I think they did a really nice job with Marge's hair. That looks really cool. Head swivels from side to side. Same hinge and rotation in the shoulder as everyone else. And again, the bend at the waist. You can see how they kind of cut the dress piece like that. I think that works. Makes sense. So that way she can just sit down like that. Yeah, overall, pretty good. Printing on the shoes is pretty good. And they all have the holes in the bottom of the feet. So I'm assuming they will peg into various play sets or things going forward. Hopefully that is the case. But yeah, really well done Marge figure. Like that quite a bit. Moving on next to Lisa. Now again, there is a single boxed version of Lisa. I have not been able to find that yet, but she comes with the saxophone. This one does not. Based on the other two, I'm going to assume that the Lisa is the same with the exception of that saxophone accessory. But still pretty cool. Has the head swivel, has the hinge and the rotation in the shoulders, and then she just has the dress does not move at all. As you can see, it's just kind of cut there so that the legs can fold forward, and the legs just move. The dress does not move, unlike Marge's dress. The legs just fold forward. But I think that should work. I think she'll be able to sit no problem. So, pretty cool Lisa figure. I like that quite a bit. Moving on to Maggie. A very basic little figure. Just has arm swivel, no hinge because the arms are so tiny. Head can swivel side to side. And of course she doesn't have legs, but she still has a peg hole there on the bottom. So, you know, fairly basic figure, but I think it gets the job done. I think it looks like Maggie. I think it's a nice representation. And yeah, everything you need. Pretty decent little figure. Now we will move on to the household pets. I'm really excited about these. Santa's Little Helper looks fantastic. They did a really nice job. Head can swivel side to side, and all of the legs can just swivel. So they don't have the hinges, but they can swivel in place. Swivel in place. They can swivel side to side. Swivel in place would not be helpful. But yeah, it's a great looking figure. I think they did a really nice job. Santa's Little Helper. Very happy to get that. I don't know how these will be done. I would imagine probably most of the Simpsons family will get single boxed figures, you know, over time. Maybe not Maggie, or maybe they'll do like Maggie and the pets in one box. I kind of get the feeling that, you know, these three might be exclusive to this. Now, I don't know that for a fact. That's just a guess. But it kind of feels like the pets and Maggie might be exclusive to this family box set. And then the others they would do with accessories later on. Although Homer didn't have an accessory in his single boxed figure. He should have come with, I mean, there's so many things you could give Homer. A box of donuts, TV remote, any kind of thing. I mean, there's so many different things from the show that they could have given him some kind of accessory, and they just didn't. So I think it's because they don't really have like gripping hands, things like that. Now she comes with the saxophone. I'd be very interested to see how she holds that, because again, kind of has a gripping hand over here, but you know, nothing really going on. Most of them don't really have gripping hands, and that's one thing I feel like is going to end up being an oversight. I feel like they should have gripping hands, but we'll see how it goes. For now, I think it's a pretty fun little pack. $20 for the set I feel like is pretty fair, considering Bart and Homer were $5 each on their own. So you're getting 4 characters, which is already kind of your $20 value, plus Maggie and the 2 pets. I think that's fair. They're just fun, you know, 2.5 to 3 inch little figures. Obviously, some are taller than others, but they all scale well with each other. So I think that's really cool. And I'm just excited to see where Jakks Pacific takes this. I really hope this line goes for a while. As we all know, there's so much they could do from the Simpsons characters, vehicles, playsets. There's a lot of potential here. So very interested to see where this line goes. But for now, I think $20 for this family pack is a pretty good deal. And, you know, maybe grab this before you start buying those single boxed figures, because there's probably, like, I would say you could definitely pass on the Homer. If you want the saxophone and the skateboard, then you could double up on Bart and Lisa. But since Homer doesn't have an exclusive accessory, really no reason to buy that if you're planning on buying this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.